Are you looking for a little play calling tonight? Perfect. Call Coach Speak, where hundreds of local coaches are connecting right now. Record an ad, describe yourself, and what you're into. What's the best way to make use of my tight end? I guess that's why they call it football. New callers receive a complimentary free trial. So what are you waiting for? Call now and get into the action. Don't miss out. Find out who can help you on 3rd and Long, right here on Coach Speak.
Try it free. The Box Score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for Box Score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. A dark cloud of hatred and disgust settled over the man cave yesterday and then slowly rolled into Milford this morning. Seton, how badly do you guys need a break from each other?
On a scale from 1 to 10?
Sure.
Are we at
19?
Have we broke 100 yet? I'd say somewhere around the 99-100 ballpark.
That being said, the box score set up there, we're all physically so close to each other, is really ramping it up.
Yeah, this very much helps things.
We like the tension. Fritzy, don't release yours just yet. Well, here it is, yesterday's back and forth on the text that reignited a Roe versus Roe feud.
This exchange happened yesterday. Seton O'Connor to Todd Fritz. Todd, who only types in subject fields and removes all pronouns from sentences. Fritzy comes back with, and yet the guests, their agents, and team PR able to remarkably communicate with me
Boom.
and show up relatively on time each day.
Roasted.
Boom.
Roasted.
Seton coming back. Good God, I hope you don't communicate with them the same way you do with us, O'Connor to Fritz. Fritzy's about to drop a mic here. And is this an edition of Pick a Fight for No Reason show sponsored? Let's make a few bucks off it. T-shirts. That's a shot at Seton, who runs our T-shirt empire.
I'm enjoying it even more the third time saying it. Yes, I saw this all going on yesterday, and shockingly, I was almost not involved whatsoever. If you, the text message back and forth probably went on 3 times as long as what you saw there, and it was really fun and entertaining. That's how I saw it, and I knew I was going to bring it back for today's show.
I was wondering, actually, once that whole exchange was done, I was like, there's a good chance that this is the morning meeting, or at least a look-in sometime tomorrow.
No doubt.
And yeah, I was cracking up, too, doing that. And I have to say, I'm extremely proud of Todd.
I was very uncomfortable with each and every one of those
without a doubt, the most successful text back and forth. I mean, he absolutely crushed me with some of those. And I was like...
I felt like I was put into a little corner and I was trying to scratch my way out, and I'm writing mean, snarky things that is totally anti what I am comfortable doing, and I'm like... And then I'm getting another one back just when I thought it was all over. I'm putting my phone down, and that scene sends another note. I'm like, I can't let him get the last word on it. I keep waiting for Paulie to jump in and go, I'm loving this, but save it. And it was just like, wow, this is like, really, this has to end at some point because it's getting progressively a little more nasty to one another.
I loved it too.
McLovin, are Seton and Paulie front row elitist?
Seems redundant.
I don't know. It's the funny thing is, I mean, a lot of this is on-air dynamics. Off-air doesn't quite work that way. You guys don't ever pick on us off-air, which is something. There's no point, right?
Well, I think off-air, no, we all pick on each other off-air. I think it's just taken less seriously because it's off-air.
Yes, that could be it.
Maybe that.
Actually, this went on off-air, so.
Oh, the morning meeting went at least another 4 minutes.
Oh,
that
sure.
got pretty ugly.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about that back and forth on Twitter. I was like, oh, this isn't on the show, so I'm definitely gonna put it on the show. And we went with the morning meeting, and usually with the morning meeting, we start doing stuff, we do a bit, or, it's not scripted, the morning meeting. There's just kind of a starting point that I put out or one of the guys puts out there. And this starting point, you saw about 1/3 of what we talked about there, and it stayed and got a little more real.
Everybody got involved.
Well, it's funny, I had totally forgotten that we'd all been in a fight at the end of the last show.
Right.
And then, like, I'm sure Dan forgot about that argument.
It's funny because Dan has the best and worst memory depending on the topic. Like you can tell Dan that he promised to go somewhere to do something that day. He'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But then he'll be like, remember 3 years ago, McLovin, when you wore brown shoes with a white shirt?
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's different than I am. I have a good memory, but mine's more
Dan's the guy too. If you jab, we all jab each other back and forth.
Yeah.
If you jab Dan, he'll go silent, and then it'll come back about 74 hours later.
Yeah.
Something 10 times
100 force.
Yeah, he'll regroup and then attack.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and you're not going to win that battle.
Well, you know, we so actually the whole text messaging started last night over a disagreement over a guest and a topic that we should do. And I was really for a topic today, and Dan was really against it. And eventually, he was sort of like, I think because he wanted me to stop texting him, was like, all right, well, just do it. Like, just shut up, man. And I knew that coming in today, I felt like there was a really good chance I was going to have to. He's like, okay, so you think it's a great topic? There you go, do it. And so I over prepared for this one specific topic.
Did that ever happen?
Because no, by the time he came in, he was just like, well, I kind of underestimated the that this was going to be a topic, you know.
Yeah.
But I really prepared for it to make sure that I was at least, well, here are like the 5 to 10 questions that I want answered for this.
Mm-hmm. And it is good. Sean really put it out there like 3 or 4 times. He said, no, this is why this is good. I really think this is going to work. And it was good because it propelled the topic and it got it on the air more so than it might have. That being said, Seaton's right. If you go and push for something, a guest or a topic, and you whiff, you're sitting there going, oh man, am I going to get it for this one?
If you're telling Dan that he has, like, no, we really should talk to this person, okay, and he doesn't want to, he's going to look at you and say, so what am I talking to him about?
Yep.
You know, and you can, well, because it's him. You know, you have to have something.
You got to have your
substance.
your next answer ready. Hey, let's have on this coach of this Oklahoma team that got screwed because of the ref. What are we talking about? About being screwed. What else?
Yeah. What's the next thing?
Yeah, and so you better have 3 ahead ready, or at least in your head ready to go.
And it can hurt future battles when we're debating guests, because if you were struck out the last time around, he'll remember that, so it'll make that fight the next time you decide that you're really behind something. It's like, oh, but you're the same one that said this one was going to work out and it didn't.
Yeah, how did Jimmy Lipper work out?
So you don't want to lose that trust and that confidence of, like, you know, they know what they're talking about as far as who we need to have on.
And sometimes you have to do something with Dan that I've only done a few times, and we've all said it, I think. Hey, let's have this guest on. Dan, like, whoa, I've heard him before. He's not that good. And we go, no, he'll be good with you. And we're not just blowing smoke. Like, LaMarcus Aldridge, I've never really heard him on other shows. I've heard him on a couple other shows. He's a nice guest. I think he's a really good guest on our show because of the way Dan plays with him. Or Melvin Gordon the other day. He's probably good elsewhere. I think he's great on our show. So sometimes you have to tell Dan, the reason we're having him on is because of you. Because we know that you're going to pull this off, which is pressure on him. But it's not a compliment. It's basically another way of producing a guest onto a show.
He sort of turns into an athlete sometimes. Like, he'll have on, like, whatever basketball player. And, hey, Dan, how you doing? I just keep hitting 20-footers or whatever. And, like, all of a sudden, he's just like, all right, yeah, this dude's on the level. Like, okay, we can talk.
Yeah, and you know, I almost know as a fact, Aldridge listens to the show. You can tell. Probably Melvin Gordon does, too. So, like, that's a big. They're already in. They're in the job.
And it helps us too, because now when we call the Portland Trailblazers, and you know, we can't ask for LaMarcus Aldridge, he's a big star every week, but we do it once every 6 months, 8 months. If the message gets to him, I guarantee he's saying yes. Melvin Gordon, when he gets to the pros next year, will probably be on this, you know, the Seahawks, and he'll get a call, and they get it to me like, oh, I had a good time with those guys. And you stay a little bit away from the fray of other shows, hopefully.
Wow, big call there. Melvin Gordon to the Seahawks.
He'll be on the Seahawks.
You heard it here first. They could use a guy.
Until he becomes really big in the pros, and then he becomes Kevin Love, and then he blows us off, too.
Wow, Fritzy taking a shot at Kevin Love. He's up.
Fritzy, if you could put something in your DP suggestion box, DP show suggestion box, not regarding a guest, but regarding your situation, the feud, what would it be?
You got 100 things to put in there.
Yeah, but it would just be basically like we could all get along and just, you know, sometimes there's unnecessary friction. You know, we should all each pick one thing about ourselves that we think we can improve upon. Would probably be something like that.
What would you suggest?
I could be a lot less passive aggressive.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be a lot less snarky, confrontational.
Okay.
And
but isn't that funny that your thing and my thing are the complete opposite
They really
of each
are.
other? Yours is
That's why
passivity,
that happens.
mine is over-aggressiveness.
yeah, so we got to find a middle ground. How's that sound?
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know what that middle ground is.
We were just
There's no
having this
formula.
conversation, and I like to accurately, I think, credit Paul for basically ruining the rest of us as human beings.
Oh, thank you.
Because I used to be a really nice, like, positive person, and was easygoing and all this stuff. And at a certain point, I lost the line between, like, either just having a bad day and being a little punchy and being a total asshole. And it's basically
harsh.
at this point, I think I've turned into a total asshole.
No, that's way too harsh.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. But I mean, You know what? This is a room that needs that. You need personalities like that. I'm a pretty constant personality. It may not be a good one, but I'm constant. I'm the same way pretty much every day here. So are all of us. And these aren't characters. These are like traits we've developed. And sometimes being a button pusher in this room is necessary. And hopefully I don't behave like this all the time everywhere, because that would be despicable. But
in the real world, you don't have to deal with the same issues. Like usually in the real world, someone doesn't just come up, hey, and insult you like openly. That'll happen in this man cave about 17 times a day.
Or sometimes we could be short-tempered with each other, or it looks like we're on standby for a fight that's not there, just because we're on top of each other all the time. And at least that's how I perceive it sometimes, where it's like, why are we looking to
It's like every comment is met with, oh, okay, really? And like that's how you always start a sentence.
You can look at the other way too. If we start curbing our natural traits as producers, as characters, whatever you want to call us, I don't think the show's gonna be that entertaining. If we're all sitting around going, hey, good job. Where are we going next? You know what I mean? Like, so if I'm gonna go an extreme one way, if we're extremely nice to each other, look, I try to be supportive when supportive is needed, and vice versa. I hope if I do something cool, everyone supports it. And if Fritzy gets to do that if Fritzy got to do some RV show a couple years ago, that was really cool. I was like, man, that's awesome. You got to do that. And I would like a few more pats on the back for everybody when they do something cool outside here or on the air. But we also don't want to water down the show where it's a box of vanilla ice cream.
Coming up, let's just move past all this hurt and sit back and enjoy Paulie getting killed right after this break.
Paulie is going to try to block Tequ Spikes. Are you okay with that?
Where is Paulie?
Right there.
Roll Tide.
So,
Oh, he's about to get it.
Whoa.
He's about to get it, Dan.
And he's got Alabama red on too.
Welcome back to the box score. 15-year NFL veteran Tequ Spikes dropped by the man cave today, and Paulie, running a fool's errand, challenged him. McLovin, idiotic or admirable?
There's only one word to describe that. Idiotic. I don't know what you were thinking. And consistently idiotic.
Yeah, thank you.
But, I mean, when you saw him across the glass, like, weren't you scared like I was?
I told Seton, this is one of the few times I'm a little bit scared because this guy's a hitter.
Yes.
I mean, one of the all-time great NFL hitting linebackers. And I sit there going, do I say Roll Tide? Do I say Roll Tide? Seton had said something like, yeah, I'll be in it too. And I just go, Roll Tide, real quick. And then he blew up. And then he's looking at me, and then if you watch it, if you stay on that video, after he comes down, he goes like this. He's like, and then you can see him like steaming up. And I went over to him. I go, hey, we'll just have a little bit. And I go, give me a good shot. He goes, mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. As a producer, I don't want to set up a fake bit where he goes like this and touches me. But I just tell him, hey, give me a shot. And whatever happens next, I don't want to know. I did purposely put the helmet on because I didn't want to hit the ground hard on the hardwood floor because he could literally kill me if he chose to. But I thought he was pretty generous, gave me a little shot into the wall, a couple kicks, a couple rolls, and then it wasn't so bad.
Well, without further ado, here's the hit that shook the man cave.
I'm gonna.
He ain't gonna heal.
Oh wow.
Roll Tide. I need two of them. Roll Tide. Roll the Tide. Roll the Tide. War damn eagle.
Roll Tide, man. Dang, dude. That dude is funny, man.
You know, once in a while you get lucky that, I didn't plan on doing that with him today, and I had this shirt on, which is really close to Bear Brian Houndstooth. It's not the same thing. And then I look over when I'm getting ready. I'm like, I got to find a helmet because I want to get killed. And I just happened out of the corner of my eye noticed that we had an Alabama helmet on. And I said to myself, for the bit, I'm going to get this thing on my nugget. McLovin tried that helmet on a couple years ago and almost really couldn't get out. It's like a medium. And
it's more like a souvenir.
It is.
It's not a real.
It's like a dummy helmet that they signed. Yeah. But Tequ was so much fun. I think he had a good time with it. He sent us a nice note afterwards. I think he's coming back.
By the way, it's funny. We did just ruin another piece of signed memorabilia in the man cave. Just like the Joe Montana football.
Julio Jones is going to be in a Hall of Fame today. It's got a big divot right over his name.
Oh, Shmulio, what to say? I don't know.
Shmulio Wones.
Yeah.
Fritzy, for $500, would you have taken that hit from Smith?
I think so, but the medical bills with my hernia and other ailments would have ended up being more like $10,000-$15,000. So I don't think $500 would be enough to get in front of a Tequ Spikes hit. I'm glad Paulie's brave enough. He's lined up against some of the biggest names in sports. Whether it be in Milford or during Super Bowl week or in the New York City Man Cave, that's kind of his thing, and he's in a lot better condition and shape to take one of those blows.
Paulie, while we watch some of our favorite video, why don't you tell us about the most soul-crushing hit you've ever received while working on the Dan Patrick Show?
Oh, man. The one that really hurt, I would say, would be Matt Forte. Because the other ones are pretty good. Roanoke was pretty good. He gave me a shot.
I thought Strahan was going to throw you over the fence.
Yeah, Strahan could have been bad. Forte actually hit me in the head with the helmet hard. And for about 15 minutes, my head was ringing where it was like, yeah, wow, I'm seeing stars a little bit here. So that was the one, because it didn't look that bad. Bam, he clubbed me pretty good.
I'm going to say, actually, the worst shot you ever took on the show wasn't from an athlete at all. No, it was from a cameraman, actually. Remember when the jib?
Yeah.
Right in the head?
Smashed you right in the head.
I thought you were talking about when I concussed him by accident.
Yeah, McLovin kicked me in the head one time on purpose.
The cameraman was intense, too, yeah.
The camera jib, it's really heavy.
Man.
It was kind of coming down on a slow angle, and I jumped up, and the bottom of the jib is
there's like a screw.
It's a flat iron heavy piece, and there's a screw coming through the bottom, and it hit me in the top of the head and cut my head open.
But isn't there a tennis ball on that?
That's why
now,
there's a ton.
Yeah. And I went like this. I'm like, hey, I'm joking. But that one I didn't see coming, which was way worse.
All right, well, let's go from painful to cheerful. It's holiday movies after this. Stick around.
Ooh.
Welcome back to the Box Score. It's mid-December, and if you can't tell by the radio stations and all the TV ads, we are knee-deep in the holiday season, and in particular, holiday movies. We're going to put your knowledge to the test. I'm going to give you a description of a holiday movie. You tell me if it's actually real or if it's not. And after yesterday's or last night's text war, I think we're going to jumble up the teams. We're going to put Seaton and Fritzy on one team and McLovin and Paulie on the other. So this first one will be for Team Fro-Connor. It's the 2004 sequel to 80 Crazy Nights with Pauly Shore taking over as the voice of the main character, Davy. In this one, Davy gets sent to jail for 80 days and must behave to get released before Hanukkah. Is this a holiday movie or not a holiday movie?
80 Crazy Nights with Pauly Shore?
See, I think it's, wasn't it like 80 Crazy Dates or something like that? Wasn't there some
direct to DVD,
like
maybe?
I'm gonna say no.
It doesn't sound like.
You think you have 50 first dates?
Yeah,
oh, man, that's what it is. 50 first dates.
Yeah, we don't think there's such a thing as 80 Crazy Nights in jail to get out before Hanukkah.
There are 80 bad Pauly Shore movies. This is not one of them. This is not a movie. Next, to Team Paul Lovin. This 1978 made-for-TV movie, the Star Wars Holiday Special, starred the original Star Wars cast. The 2-hour special follows a journey to Chewie's homeworld to celebrate Life Day. Real holiday movie or not?
Did you say, Broccoli, that it had the actual cast from Star Wars in it?
Yes. The entire cast.
Well, we know Chewie's home planet is Endor.
Yeah, you know.
And which is so weird. Actually, I remember from South Park, he goes, if Chewbacca lives on Endor, it's a planet full of Ewoks. Explain that.
I think that might have happened because maybe they got a big payday out of it after.
Feels right.
It feels right. Yes.
You were absolutely correct. This debacle did actually make it to TV, the holiday special from Star Wars.
Holiday special?
McLovin has the VHS.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's just great. It's all the way. Back to Team Fro-Connor. It's Santa with Muscles, starring Hulk Hogan as a millionaire who gets amnesia and thinks he is Santa. Ed Begley Jr. also plays an evil scientist. Holiday movie or not?
I'll tell you what, if it's not, it should be.
Yeah, I know all of Ed Begley's vehicles, so I'm not going to touch this one.
I'm
kind of sold on that.
Say yes, actually. I think that this is absolutely a movie.
Santa with Muscles
movie. Yes, celebrated every year by the many fans of it. It is Santa with Muscles.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Piece of crap.
Cannot believe it's a movie.
Team Paul Lovin. It's the 1998 Jennifer Love Hewitt heartwarmer, A Kitten for Christmas. Hewitt's character Jessie spends her Christmas bonus to buy a kitten for her dying neighbor. Spoiler alert, the cat turns into an angel, heals her neighbor, and then falls in love with Jessie on Christmas morning. Movie or not?
This is tough.
It sounds like Hallmark Hall of Fame.
Well, you're asking us because you know if it's a Jennifer Love Hewitt movie, Fritzy's at least seen the first 10 minutes of it.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Especially if we're talking kittens and Jennifer.
Sure, sure.
I have kittens.
I don't see it, McLovin. I don't see it.
Well, I know how the producers work, and usually they go real
flip-flop,
So we're gonna go.
But are they mixing it
That
up?
being said, she makes some pretty terrible movies.
Right.
But '98, she was still in her.
I still know what you did last
I know
Christmas.
what you did for Christmas.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think she was in her Hallmark phase yet. I say it's a fake.
Fake.
You are absolutely accurate on that. It is not a movie,
Well done,
but let that be a pitch to Hollywood.
No
Team
kidding for
Fro Connor, it's the 1964 Christmas sci-fi movie Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. You know how the old story goes: Martians kidnap Santa, Santa conquers the Martians, Earth 1, Mars 0. Holiday movie or not?
Here's what I'm picking up on.
Russ Meyer?
It's the ones. There's no.
What, the like space-related ones are? Or
No, I think
Ed Wood directing?
I think that there are subtle clues that help give away what the answer. I think that this is not a movie.
All right, we're going to say Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. If you would have said Martian Chronicles, maybe, or something like that, we're going to say
Fred
not a
Bigley
movie.
Jr. was in it.
Well, I am sorry to report, but it is a movie. It's absolutely a movie.
Oh!
Santa Claus Conquers the
Santa
Martians.
Claus Conquers the Martians?
Son of a.
Team Paul Lovin, it's Jingle All the Way 2. Move over Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. This one stars Larry the Cable Guy. Same premise as the first movie, only this time dads battle over Harrison, the talking teddy bear. Movie or not?
Larry the Cable Guy will take any offer for anything. He makes Ernest from Ernest Goes to Camp look like he's a selective thespian.
I think Michael Caine was in this movie.
Oh,
Michael Caine.
I would assume.
Yeah.
And don't get heartburn.
Sounds like something, that sounds more like a Pauly Shore movie.
Sorry, Master Bruce.
Now, going by the alternate thing,
But there's two stars of Jingle All the Way, Sinbad and Schwarzenegger.
how did Sinbad get in that movie?
We just got one Larry the Cable Guy. He didn't mention an alternate star, so maybe it's a fake.
Did Sinbad pass on part 2? There's no way he passed. We're going to say fake.
This is a movie, and it was released 9 days ago, straight to video. Unfortunately, Sinbad didn't
Who's
take that. I
watching
know he
9 days
needs the
ago,
money.
straight to
He's
video?
dead broke. You guys tie, so
Don't get heartburn in the first place.
peace on earth. Goodwill to men here on the box score.
By the way, I saw Sinbad open for the Eagles once. The Eagles were on tour,
That's
and
weird.
Sinbad came out and opened for them.
I saw Sinbad open up the parking lot to let us in today.
This is weird.
Stand-up comedy before a musical group.
Do not go away. We're going to see who goes to the hall.
Seton, didn't we have somebody who came in, swooped in, and bought quite a few of those J.J. Watt T-shirts yesterday?
Oh, yeah, Brooke. Yeah, she bought like, I want to say almost 70 T-shirts and is sending them over to a children's hospital.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Brooke's a long time listener.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Brooke. That's awesome what you did.
Welcome back to the box score. Oh, a fan coming out and buying 70 Dan Patrick Show T-shirts. Paulie, is this the ultimate fan topper move?
Pretty nice move. And doing it for, you know more about this than I do, but this person's trying to do a good thing here. But it's really cool. It also shows how big this guy is down in Houston and other places like that. But the T-shirt thing, you never know which ones are gonna like hit. There's some fan bases though. The Packers, that didn't surprise me at all. When Seton showed us that Aaron Rodgers shirt, I was like, this is gonna sell. I remember Dan goes, this will probably sell a couple hundred. I'm like, this is gonna sell 1,000 today. Packers are hardcore.
You know, there's a rule at Sports Illustrated. If you can get the Packers or Alabama football on the cover, you do it no matter what you do.
Ohio State football.
For some reason, those are two highest sellers.
If we did a Kentucky basketball T-shirt of some sort with Calipari, I think we'd sell 5,000 in a week.
Well, certainly an all-star performance on many levels, buying 70 shirts for 6 kids. Taking Chris in Syracuse out of the equation, since he is probably just, he'll get in on career achievement alone. Seton, who would be a first ballot DP Show fan Hall of Famer for you?
Oh man, Jake in Wisconsin's been around a long time. He would probably go right up there. Hard to not say Shea.
Shea,
in Irving. He's certainly right on the Mount Rushmore of callers. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, Ben in Iowa has made a real nice run in the past 2 years where he's kind of a strong, solid entity there.
I love Chris in Ohio still. going old school. Doesn't call it quite as much, but still, every time he does, it's a home run.
Yeah, I gotta go Shea. I just find him very amusing, and he seems to be getting angrier and angrier as the weeks progress. Even though we're getting closer and closer to the holiday season, you'd think he'd lay off the gas a little bit, but he is always funny whether the Cowboys win or lose.
Something I've noticed about Shea, I think he calls less often now.
Yeah,
maybe
which is good.
Yeah, it is good. 2 years ago, he was calling maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and then you're like, okay, less is more sometimes, and. Now it's like when the Cowboys lose, she could tell you, our email, our Twitter, like, I can't wait for Shea tomorrow. Not I can't wait for Dan to talk about the Cowboys. I can't wait for Shea.
Well, how many calls do you get out of prison every week? I don't know what
that's right.
is.
Good point. He's work release. He uses his own phone.
I think you guys are stepping over the obvious one. Craig in Pennsylvania, my all-time favorite.
Craigers.
All right, Fritzy, who is on tomorrow, please?
Rodney Harrison of NBC Football Night in America will join us.
Former Western Illinois Leatherneck.
Maybe Emmanuel Sanders of the Denver Broncos.
Marian Catholic High School.
Rodney W. Harrison Jr.
The third.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching the Box Score. Catch us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on Audience, Channel 239. If you're on the go, the podcast available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. To Craig.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!